Hi Stampers, decided to go back and do a regular recording for this project. I was having technical difficulties, but I still wanted to go ahead and get this project out to my stamping friends. What we're going to be working on today is this beautiful little elegant gift box with a tag. And what I used for this is the Forever Blossoms stamp set, along with the Cherry Blossoms dies. Okay, so what I did at the beginning is I took the gorgeous cherry blossom image and I took my piece of Blushing Bride cardstock cut at 8 by 11, and I did some random stamping all over my cardstock using Flirty Flamingo ink. And then to add a little more pizzazz to my paper, I used my Wink of Stella pen and I colored in the flowers on the paper. And you can see it gives the paper a real nice little glitter look. It gives it a little bit of a more elegant look. So that's where I'm ready now to go ahead and put the box together. All right, now let me show you the box that's finished. This box is all one piece. I'm going to take the ribbon off, and it opens like that on a hinge. Okay, so it's a pretty simple box to make, and I love it because it takes just about a full piece of Designer Series paper. So you're going to have your paper cut and stamped, and your paper is 8 inches by 11 inches. All right, so let me go ahead and get my directions up here, and we will go ahead and start our scoring. I'm going to be using my Simply Scored board to do this. On the long side, which is the 11-inch side, I'm going to score at 1.5, 4 3/4, 6 1/4, 9 1/2. All these dimensions will be on my blog, so don't worry about trying to jot them down. 1.5, 3 3/4, 6 1/4, 9 1/2. Now I'm going to turn it to the short side, and on the short side, I'm going to score it at 1.5 and 6 1/2. All right, that is all the scoring we need to do for our beautiful box. I'm going to take that scoring board away. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go ahead and crease on all these score lines. You always want to make sure you crease the lines very well so that the box will come together nicely for you. A bone folder is a great way to do that. All right, so I've got all my lines folded and creased now. Now this is a really simple box to put together. So I'm going to turn the paper so that my design is facing down, because you can see your lines a little better that way. And I'm going to go ahead, hold it in the landscape position, and each one of these vertical score lines, I'm going to go ahead and snip up to the first horizontal score line. Okay, so I'm go ahead, these smaller ones are going to be your flaps that are going to go behind your panels and construct your box, and then these longer rectangles are the panels themselves. Now I also like to wedge these tabs a little bit just so they fit in a little nicer behind the card panels and don't make any lumps or bumps. Now I'm going to turn it the other way and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to cut up those 4 score lines, and then I'm going to do my wedging on each of the tabs. You want to leave the rectangular panels alone because they are going to be the sides of your box. All right, there we go. That's all the cutting we're going to have to do today. So it's not a difficult box to put together. All right, now I'm going to bring in my Tombow, and I'm going to go ahead and make the bottom of the box first. So I'm going to bring in these 4 tabs here. Again, the pattern is still on the bottom. And when you bring in the tab, you're going to be putting your Tombow on the side that has the pattern. That's okay, because these tabs are going to go inside your box. Okay, so we're going to make this part the bottom of the box. So I'm going to fold up this side and fold the tab behind this panel, and line up the side of the panel with the fold of the tab. And just hold that for a moment. Do the same thing on this side. Fold it up, and I'm going to line up the fold to the edge of the panel and just hold it for a couple moments. All right, so there's our first part of our box finished. Now we're going to fold this part up, and this is going to be the completion of the bottom of the box. Same thing, I'm going to fold the tab behind, inside, and line it up with the edge of the panel, both sides. And the Tombow is great glue because it gives you a couple of seconds to move your panel around until you get it right where you want it. And you just give it a little bit of pressure, and you got it. So there is the bottom of the box, all ready to go. All right, now to make the top, we work a little bit differently because the box closes on top of itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to close the box, all right? And we're going to bend the panels up a little bit so that it gives us a little bit of room to adhere the tabs. So I'm going to, while the box is closed, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on both of those tabs. Then I'm going to fold down the panels of the box and hold it closed. The reason you want to do that is you don't want to adhere the panels to the box while the box is open, because you want to make sure that you're adhering it at a place that it will come down and slide onto the box. So there we go. There's our box. How simple was that? Okay, and it's going to open right here at the front. Look at all that space in there you have. And since we closed it before we adhered it, we know that it's going to be the right size. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our tag. I made the tag here using a few items from the dies that come with the Cherry Blossom die set. This is a great, if you like to put flowers on cards and on 3D items, this is a great one to have. So let me show you what I did here. Okay, I cut out one of the flower dies using the Blushing Bride. Okay, then I cut out a flower stamen right there, and that uses this die here in the Flirty Flamingo. And then I cut out a couple of leaves, and I love how they cut them out and also emboss them. They have a little bit of, you can see the veins, and I use this one here to do that. All right, and then my tag I used is from Lots of Labels, but you probably have, if you don't have Lots of Labels, you might have another die set around that you can use something to make your tag. Anything will do, even just a rectangle. All right, now before we go ahead and put our flower on, I want to go ahead and do the little bit of stamping we have. And I'm going to use the love stamp, and that is from the Forever Blossoms right here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead using Memento ink. I'm going to stamp right on the bottom right hand corner. Okay, there is my love. Very simple. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my pieces of my flower. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of glue. Whoops. Put it right there. And then I'm going to get my pick tool on the putty end, and I'm going to pick up my little center and then place it right on top of the flower. much easier to pick it up that way. I've got big fingers and it really helps a lot to use that little putty thing. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get some dimensionals and I'm going to add my flower to my tag. Okay. These dimensionals are a great way to pop up items on a card or a tag or a box. Just gives it a little added lift, makes it a focal point. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and add on the leaves. And I'm going to bend them a little bit, just like leaves may be bent a little bit, just to give them a little more dimension. Then I'm going to grab my glue dots. I'm going to put one of these on the glue dot. Use my pick tool again. Grab under the glue dot and then slide this right under the leaf. There's one. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just put it a little lower underneath the first. Okay, pick it up off the glue dots and stick it right underneath. And there we go. There is your adorable tag. Last thing I need to do is grab my 1/8 circle punch or paper punch and make a little hole right there at the end of our label. All right, well, let's move off some of these extra items here. And the last thing I need to do is bring in my ribbon. And we are going to be using the gorgeous polka dot tulle ribbon. Going to give myself a nice big piece. All right, and just a little trick, when you cut your ribbon, if you need to put it through a small hole, you might want to cut it into a point. It makes it easier to feed through. Okay, so before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my ribbon on my box. Okay, now I'm going to grab the end of my ribbon and I'm going to feed it right through my tag. There he is. That little point is a great help because I've got big fingers and sometimes I have trouble getting it through, as I'm showing you now. All right, let's try that again. Get that point. There we go. All right. Third time's the charm. There we go. All right, so I put that right on there, down against the box. And then with what's left of my tool, I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow. This is really beautiful ribbon. It's nice and light and airy. And is a perfect touch on this little elegant box that you made. So then I'm going to go ahead and shushle my ribbon a little bit. And I'm going to cut off my ends, and there you have it. There is the box. Okay, now you can tie it this way, or if you like, or you can tie it this way, whatever you like. Works both ways. But I love the cute little tag. I think that really adds to it, as does the beautiful Wink of Stella. So that's my project for today. And I'm sorry about the technical difficulties earlier, but I think I'm going to start just recording them because it's a little safer and less stressful. So please, if you need the information about this project, you can go to my blog, and my blog is thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. And I'll be back again on Thursday for a pre-recorded project to share with you. So thanks again, and we'll see you again real soon.